What's going on, everyone? I'm super excited to finally create this video of my first year as an Airbnb host. I want to talk about how I got started. I want to talk about my profit. I want to talk about how I set everything up, and then also talk about why I actually ended my Airbnb as well. First and foremost, I am super grateful for the entire experience. And there were a lot of highs and a lot of lows. I definitely went through a whole roller coaster throughout the entire process, but there was such a huge learning curve, and I'm grateful for it. Super grateful for it. And I just want to show you guys a raw and real experience, my journey. Hopefully that it can inspire yours, or hopefully that it can give you some perspective in regards to whether or not Airbnb is going to be a good move for you. Because just know there are a lot of things that people leave out, and I just want to make sure that through my story you can at least have a perspective that you probably wouldn't have otherwise. So with that being said, let me just jump right into it. Initially, my Airbnb journey started off when I was really just looking to have a transition for my career. I really just wanted to tap into real estate. It's something that I've always thought about, something I always wanted to do. And so I did what anyone does. I went on Google. I actually even went on TikTok, and I don't even use TikTok like that, but I hopped on TikTok and I actually searched up, how to get started with Airbnb. And after that search, I actually found this company called Airbnb Leverage that would do Airbnb through rental arbitrage. And I've never heard of rental arbitrage before. And so I had done a lot of research and I was taking a look at their program. And so basically what they helped me do was negotiate with landlords in order to sublease their home, but have me as the tenant. And there you go, you have Airbnb, right? So it's basically the route that doesn't involve you having to purchase a home, but actually just negotiating with the landlord for, a year-long lease, sometimes 2 years, depending on what you negotiate, and then just allowing you to sublease that property and putting it on sites like Airbnb and VRBO. So I ended up moving forward with working with that program, and they basically helped me obtain my first property here in Minnesota. Now, granted, I did not do the proper market research before I decided to have my Airbnb and my property here in Minnesota at all. I just thought that it's convenient because I live in Minnesota, so why don't I just have an Airbnb in the same city as me, right? So I can watch everything, learn everything, and really be part of that process. I didn't really think that part through, and I wish I had, but I moved forward with it and I obtained my property. Now, essentially, the company helped me draft up a lease, had specific clauses in it, things of, if the house gets damaged, who's gonna take care of it. It's basically, rental arbitrage does really good at letting the landlords know that the tenant, you, are going to maintain and keep the property in pristine condition, and that they don't have to worry about, showing up to the property to fix a leak, or, maybe the drain's clogged, anything like that. You're basically negotiating with them that you're gonna take care of all of that and pay for it out of pocket, right? That's kind of that give and take where the landlord's like, okay, I'll let you use my property to sublease, but you just gotta take care of everything. And that's what landlords want, right? They just wanna collect a check, they wanna collect the rent, and then have nothing to do with the house in regards to maintenance wise, right? So come September, I started my Airbnb journey officially. Like, that's when my lease started. I actually didn't even get my Airbnb set up really on Airbnb and just in general until October. I definitely think I lost a good month of revenue then. But mind you, I was learning everything. And also I was working full time and I was traveling a lot out of state. So again, that is completely my fault. I wish I could have started earlier, but we learn. So September's when it started, and I had spent a ton of September just ordering furniture and trying to be the interior designer that I am absolutely not. And so that's probably why it prolonged, on top of me being out of state all the time and traveling. But I finally got furniture coming in. Honestly, I didn't even have everything shipped all at once. It's kind of a work in progress, right? It's kind of like, okay, you buy this couch here, you buy this desk, it's not really working out, so you kind of just move everything around. Sometimes you have to buy new things, and it's really a process. And so I have a ton of clips that I'm gonna be playing and kind of talking through each clip about, what I was doing, the issues that I was dealing with, so that you guys can actually see. I actually realized I didn't have as many clips created as I thought I did, over the past few months, but it's gonna be enough. And the parts that I don't have clips on, I will just have a talk through like this and be as open and transparent about it as possible. As I'm going through these clips, you have to understand that each market is different. each property is different, and the furnishing budget for each property is gonna be very, very different as well, and it can range. For me personally, I spent about $13,000 in furnishing costs, and that probably could have been minimized a little bit more if I had known what I know now. But again, it's a learning experience. And so I'm sharing that with you. I'm very transparent about that. I spent probably a lot more money than I needed to furnishing the home because specifically I didn't even know how to furnish properly, in my opinion. A very overwhelming season of my life, but we got it done. It really just depends on how you want your Airbnb to look like, you know, what things you want your guests to experience, or what you want them to see, how you want them to feel when they come to your property. And so you just have to put in consideration all those things. For me, my property was a 5-bed, 2-bath house, and it seems big, but actually the square footage was really small, and it was a very, very small and condensed home. So there was a basement, there was a first floor, and then there was an attic floor as well. Please keep in mind that my Airbnb journey is not traditional. It's not the only way to do things. It is mine completely, and I had to learn a lot along the way. Like, I wish I had mentors and teachers to really help me. I mean, literally step by step, but I just didn't, and I had to figure everything out on my own. And I think that's really where, you know, you learn the most, and not just learn the most about what you're trying to do, but learn the most about yourself and how you're handling situations. Again, this is just my journey. These are the things that I did. Yes, do I regret some of the things that I did? Absolutely. But you know what? I'm gonna be open about them, and you know, I'm gonna talk about what the things that I did learn and what I could have improved upon. And hopefully, you know, that'll give you guys a lot more insight. Okay, so this first clip that I'm gonna walk through is just a video that I created the day that I picked up the keys to my property. And little did I know that it was just the beginning of everything that I was going to have to do. All right, I officially received the keys today for my short-term rental property, and I'm on my way to go pick up a foosball table to put in the basement, which I'm excited about. Things are kind of slowly coming together, so I have to order a bunch of furniture, but trying to document this process as much as I can so that I can learn from it, and then I can also educate and help other people with their journey. She's so inspirational. Anyways, I did end up going to pick up that foosball table, which by the way was super, super heavy. Like, why are foosball tables so heavy? I don't know. Anyways, you can see me here pointing to the right, trying to visualize what I'm trying to do for this space. And you can see the ceilings, it's angled. I don't really know what to do. If you're an interior designer, you probably have a bunch of ideas of what to do here, but me being me, I had no idea. And so I ended up turning it into a bedroom, but you can see the nooks in the walls. Initially, I wanted to have something here for maybe pets, but then pets aren't even allowed at the property, so that didn't even make sense. But swirling, twirling, trying to make something work, getting dizzy, and just visualizing. And bam! You know I had to hit up Amazon for my online shopping. And next thing you know, I had a TV hanging up in my living room and a bunch of boxes just showing up on my doorstep, which was insane. I mean, look at the size of those boxes. Literally, I got so many gains from doing this. And then here's video of me pushing in mattresses. Memory foam mattresses are so heavy, and I had to just run over to the property. I mean, not literally run, I drove over to the property just to bring these boxes into the garage because I didn't have time to bring them into the house because it was about to rain. And sometimes this happens when your packages arrive. The weather is sometimes not on your side, especially in Minnesota when it is constantly snowing as well. The winters are really bad. So you can see I'm winded here, okay? And I work out, but these boxes are no joke, and I had to bring in 5 of them, all right? And I wasn't even setting them up. I was just bringing them into the garage. Here's just a quick walkthrough. Here's a kitchen, a bunch of boxes that I needed to unload still. I eventually brought the mattresses in. Here's just a living room with just a TV again and a kid. Bring the kids, put them to work if you can. Here's the first level bedroom with a bed frame in it. Here's a second bedroom with bed frame, mattress, and the Wi-Fi setup. So just a quick video of the progress. More Amazon deliveries, side tables for the beds. A lot of work to do. I don't don't think too many people realize or understand how much physical labor it actually takes to put together an Airbnb and how much time it takes. If you're working full-time or part-time, that most likely means you can't allocate that time during the day in order to come and furnish your property. And so a lot of the times it's going to be after hours. And if you have loved ones or if you had kids that you want to spend time with, sometimes you have to be pulled away from that in order to complete the project. And so I would advise or suggest bringing them to come and help you as much as you can so you guys can all spend time together. But it definitely does take a toll on you, especially if you're constantly working throughout the day and having to come back during the night times in order to finish the project because you want to get it on Airbnb as fast as possible. Now, don't get me wrong, it is fun to go to Home Goods or TJ Maxx or IKEA in order to shop for furniture or decor, but it is a lot of work and not to mention a lot of money. Also, if you have people come and help you put together your property, make sure you show a lot of appreciation because it is a lot of hard work and time, and I definitely would have lost my mind, especially putting this couch together. But guys, look at this couch. Ooh, IKEA for the win. But I definitely spent way too much money on this couch actually, and I definitely regret it and I would not recommend. But come on, look at these boxes. This just looks like stress to me. It was so crazy. Everything looks good and gravy until the boxes stack up. Now here's a hard truth. It takes a lot of grit and a lot of patience when you're going throughout this entire process. One thing for sure is that Amazon deliveries are never accurate. Again, you saw in my previous videos that there are packages that arrive on time, and a lot of them at that. But there are also instances where packages do not come at all, and they also do not notify you. So sometimes you're just waiting around for a package that's never even going to get delivered. And so this is a real issue, a real problem that I had throughout the duration of furnishing my property, and there's so many inconsistencies. And here's a video of me kind of talking through that, real raw version of it. So it is currently 8:23 p.m. Amazon said that my packages would arrive by 8 p.m. tonight. So I've been here at my property all day. I was working, hoping that Amazon would deliver the packages sooner. However, they have not. And it's a big package. And so I just don't want it sitting in the front of my property or the back of my property all night. So I'm still sitting here now in my car waiting for the FedEx truck to pull up. I'm here by myself, and I'm probably gonna have them just put it in the garage for the night so that we can come back tomorrow and put them into the house and put them together. But this is what it takes. So I could be home right now in bed, getting ready for bed, having dinner, something. But instead, I'm in my car making this video, and I just have to keep remembering that this is an investment, and it's not fast money. And it takes time, there's learning processes, and this is what I'm doing. This is all part of it. So yeah, it's exciting. Well, fun fact, that package never even showed up. And so I sat there for no reason. It ended up arriving at 5 a.m. the next morning. And so again, proof that inconsistencies are constantly happening. And so if you want a roller coaster of inconsistencies, then just furnish an Airbnb. But here's a video of my brother and I putting together a coffee table. How many people does it take to put a coffee table together? Apparently 2. And it's actually a lot more difficult than it looks, according to the average person. But I don't know how many coffee tables I put together in my lifetime. I ended up not even actually using this coffee table in the living room. I put it upstairs in the 5th bedroom in the attic for just a general seating area. But yeah, you can see here a lot of ups and downs, and yeah, we finished here. You can see me sitting down relaxing because putting together a coffee table is tough. And here's just a walkthrough of the updated living room during that time. Again, don't even talk to me about that coffee table. I know it is not giving me the vibes, but this is progress. One thing about my Airbnb journey is that there were a lot of firsts involved. This was the first time I had to put an electric lock onto one of the doors of my property. Turned out that it wasn't even the right lock to fit it, but I learned. Now here's another video of me putting together a futon in the upstairs attic bedroom that I didn't even end up using for the space, but I learned how to put a futon together. Finally, things were coming together and I added some touches of color into this. My inner interior designer was just literally oozing out of me, oh my gosh. But this was the first bedroom that I completed, and guys, it doesn't look like much, but I was so proud of it. Here's the other bedroom on the first level floor that I completed. Well, I thought I completed it during this time, but then went downstairs into this bigger room, probably the largest room of the entire house. A lot of space here, so I had to figure out how else to fill it. And then going into the last basement bedroom. Was not a fan of these floors, guys, but it is what it is. Remember that super heavy foosball table that I was talking about? Yeah, here it is down in the basement. I wanted to create some sort of game room down here, but as you can see, there's actually not too much space, so all it is the foosball table. Now, finally coming into October, I had my cousins come to town to help me take professional photos. Granted, my property wasn't fully furnished yet, but you want to get your listing up and your photos so that Airbnb's algorithm can help optimize your listing in order to show and put in front of potential guests until you finish furnishing the house completely. I kid you not, a few days later on October 4th, I got my very first Airbnb booking. And guys, I was over the moon about this. I remember it like it was yesterday. But this booking was for Thanksgiving weekend, and it was a grand total of $2,600 that the guests had paid. Now, the host payout for this was $2,100. Keep in mind that it's not all completely profit just because I had to pay my rent as well as the furnishing costs, right? But it did feel really good to actually see this come to life and to see it work right in front of my eyes. Finally finished furnishing my house, and gosh, you don't know what stress looks like until you see a stack of empty boxes. But I had to rent a U-Haul, just throw all the boxes in and drive them over to the dump. From here, things only started to catch momentum. I was getting consistent bookings and I was really happy about it, but it also meant that I had to come back to the property to clean in between guests. Now, this was extremely stressful for me, especially when I had a guest checking out and checking in on the same day. Now, most people outsource their cleaners, but I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to cut into my profits. Don't judge me for this next part, but I literally had no idea what a duvet was before I started my Airbnb journey. I don't use a duvet. I also didn't even know how to properly set up a bed like the hotels, so I had to YouTube it, and it had me reconsider how I've been setting up my own bed my whole entire life. But one thing that was super time consuming as well when you're cleaning is laundry. I literally had to bleach all the towels and all the bed sheets, and it took so much time. So I would definitely recommend buying duplicate sets just so that you can have them all prepared for when you're cleaning. So some of you might not know this, but Airbnb hosts can set up checkout instructions for their guests to follow when they are checking out of the property. So I had mine set up. It's just basically stripping all the sheets off the beds, putting them in the hampers, and putting all the towels into the washing machine. But I've had some funny, unsettling, and frustrating stories and videos that I've created about how guests have left the property after they have left. So I just want to share those really quick. This one was a little unsettling. The guests had just checked out and they perfectly positioned these books here. Look at this. El Chapo, heard it was a good read. Serial killers. I mean, this person might have been a big true crime fan, but if I housed serial killers, that would have been crazy. This one was actually kind of funny. So a guest had just checked out, and all of a sudden I got a notification from one of my cameras that someone Instacarted groceries to my front door. And my property is on a busy street, so I know there were a ton of cars just driving by looking at all these groceries and goodies. And so I went over there, threw them in my car, and started digging through all the bags to kind of see, what groceries I have for the week. And a lot of the times people leave things behind after they stay at your property. So I've had people leave alcohol, I've had people leave untouched groceries, and maybe this was just an Instacart mistake, but you know what? I gained.
You guys know what grinds my gears. I always want to give people the benefit of the doubt. I want to believe that people are good and can listen and follow instructions. But man, when people leave your Airbnb a mess, didn't listen to no checkout instructions, nothing, that really ticks me off, because you guys don't understand that people pour so much into these properties to create an experience for you to stay at, to live at for a couple of days or however long you're staying for. And they pour a lot into these properties, and they take a lot of time purchasing everything, all the furniture, setting everything up just so that you can have a good experience, you and your guests. And so next time you're staying at a property, respect the property, respect everything in it, and gosh, let's do better.
With all that, I'm sure the question you're all asking is how much profit did I actually make in my first year of being an Airbnb host? So I have it written down here. I also eventually set up my VRBO listing with Airbnb. So my gross earnings was $26,209.08. Now that's not all profit. With profit, it's $19,202.32. Keep in mind though that I didn't actually stay the whole duration of the 12 months. I actually only ended up staying for 8 months. Now with that being said, if you divide 8 from that 19,000, you get $2,400.29 a month. That's how much I was making monthly. But that doesn't even total up to all my expenses. My rent was $2,300 plus $300 for year-round yard maintenance, which equals $2,600. Don't forget, my furnishing costs totaled up to about $13,000. And so I actually lost more money than I did profit. And so I took a big L there, but you know what? I know what you're thinking. Because I'm literally thinking these same things too. Kim, why did you do that? Why did you put yourself in this position? You have lost so much financially. Was it worth it? And honestly, I can't go back in time and fix the things that have already happened. But what I can do is make a list of things that I would do differently moving forward. And so the first thing I would do differently is definitely research my market better, because that was a big key factor into my expenses. So I would find a good and affordable home, I would find affordable rent, and I would find a property in really good condition in a really good location. Next thing I would do is have a better furnishing strategy. I would create a wow factor at my property and go above and beyond a little bit more for my guests, because guest reviews go a long way. Another thing I would do is have an open, transparent relationship with my landlord, because things can get messy really fast. That's also why I ended up only having my Airbnb for 8 months versus 12. I would also outsource my cleaners, because like you guys saw in the videos, cleaning was not my favorite thing and it took up so much time. And lastly, I would have a better pricing strategy. A lot of people don't realize this, but you can't just set a nightly price for your Airbnb or VRBO and hope that it works. There's a pricing strategy involved in this, and there's a lot of work, a lot of tweaking, a lot of adjusting. And so I would pay a professional to do it, or I would take more time in order to learn that process so that I can make my property more profitable. Overall, this was such a good learning experience. And yes, that's just something I tell myself because I took such a big L these past few months. But you know what? I did it. I put my foot forward and I did it. And you know, that's a lot more than what other people can say. I jumped in. I tried it, even though it didn't go my way, I still did it and I still learned from it. So, you know, the truth of the matter is that a lot of the times these things just don't work out. But just because it didn't work out for me doesn't mean that it can't work out for you. This was my journey, my process, my story, and hopefully you can learn from my mistakes so you can shortcut a few things. Again, hopefully my journey was able to give you insight and perspective and a real and raw version of what these processes look like, what it takes to actually put together an Airbnb, and help you make a decision of whether or not this is going to be a good fit for you. All in all, if you guys enjoyed this video, please thumbs up it. Please subscribe. I'm going to be creating a lot more videos of not just successes and wins, but also trials and tribulations. So I think that's important. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.